Hey, what's up everybody, Agamatsu today. Today I'm going to be giving you basically a guide on how I farm the depths. Now I know a lot of people probably need like a solid depths farming guide because, well, deep gems were just nerfed in the overworld and you can't get them in the overworld anymore. You can only get them in the depths. So I know a lot of you guys probably want to go down there and start farming. However, it's really important to make sure that you have the correct setup and make sure you have the correct items before you go down into the depths. So usually what I like to do is I actually like to go ahead and kill like all the nomads at the nomad camp at Etria. It just gives me like a couple of frigid prisms, which can be pretty useful for getting reservoir. You can already get these by killing jellyfish, but it's nice to go in with a couple already ready. You also want to make sure that you have some like food and a way to deal with insanity. So usually this would be maybe like you have Azure Flames, the talent that like lets you get your sanity back, perhaps some potions that restore your sanity, or just like a good amount of willpower. And to be honest, it's not even that big of a deal if you don't have any of this stuff either. You can just kind of leave the depths, wait, and then come back for round 2 as well. These are just things that help you stay in the depths longer. Now, a couple of warnings: if you've never actually tried slowing the depths or have never gone down to the depths to farm, I would actually recommend that you probably stay on the surface until you're like power 25 to 30. Even though yes, it is possible to like go down there at power 1 and start farming immediately, you probably don't want to, encounter the issues that you're going to be facing there until you're like power 25 and 30. It's also recommend that you might want to go with like a squad of 2 to 4 at first. You want to keep it small so that you generally get like a decent amount of loot and luck and EXP split among your guys itself, but you don't really want to go down there with like a giant guild either, like with like 15-10 people, because obviously you're probably not going to get that much loot in EXP and barely anybody is going to be getting luck if you're fighting corrupted enemies. The only way I would recommend going down to the depths as like a giant guild is like maybe if you have like a safe server that you want to make and then everybody spread apart fighting enemies. Now for the monster guide. Essentially speaking, at power 1 plus, you can probably fight the Sharko, Lionfish, Crabbo, and the small jellyfish. Now obviously I wouldn't recommend that you go and do this. It is possible at these powers. However, I just think it's big waste of time, and you probably want to start fighting them once you're higher powers so you can kill them a lot quicker and get that EXP and loot faster. At powers 20 plus is when you could probably start fighting the turtle, little crocodiles, the alpha sharko, and the angels. Again, I don't recommend fighting like these things immediately at power 20. However, it is possible to win and like win at a reasonable rate and still get the loot, and you probably won't have to worry about your life that much. However, again, you can wait a couple levels to start fighting these things. At powers 35 plus, you can start fighting the owl, maybe some things that are corrupted like a corrupted Sharko, Lionfish, Crabbo, a corrupted turtle perhaps, and the little crocodiles, and then maybe the king jellyfish as well. The king jellyfish is kind of a stat check, which is why I probably would like recommend waiting until like power 35 to fight it. Now at powers 45, we have an exception here. We have the spider boss. If you didn't know, the spider boss is in the depths. You can find them in a very specific spot, and he gives okay loot. Again, I would really recommend fighting him at power 45 if you're alone, and then the corrupted king jellyfish at power 45 because again, just a stat check. You just want to make sure you have enough health and damage when you do fight a corrupted king jellyfish. At powers 50, this is when you're going to start getting into those like end game NPCs, the king thresher and the squid hoss. Now honestly, I would really recommend that you make sure you know what you're doing when you're fighting these enemies. They will mess you up if you don't know how to fight them. And of course, even though I like dropped guides on them, all you can really do is just block, parry, and dodge. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You just have to block, parry, and dodge and know when to block, parry, and dodge. And it comes with experience. Honestly, I just recommend fighting with some friends at first. Maybe try to 1v1 with friends around you and then learning how to fight it. That's honestly the best way, because there's no way you're gonna be able to look at a video and then immediately go and be able to fight it. You just have to have experience. Now powers 55 and above, this is the corrupted king thresher and the corrupted owl. These are very, very dangerous to solo. If you know how to fight it, it's not that big of an issue, but a lot of people don't know how to fight it. And if you make mistakes fighting these things, they will take a bar or more of your health away. So you really want to know how to fight them, or have like bloodless gems on like your spell so you can get your health back. Anything you can do to make sure that you have good stats and good regeneration fighting these things so you can make up for those mistakes is really needed. However, when it comes to farming, you want to fight corrupted king threshers, corrupted alpha sharkos, and squid hoss. Basically, these give you giant chests. Corrupted king threshers give you massive chests like the one in the thumbnail. Corrupted alpha sharkos also give you nice sizable chests, not as big as the thresher, but still it'll give you like a little scroll bar, and that's how you know you have a nice chest. I think the spider boss also gives you these, but I don't think the loot is that great. I'll have to check on that later. And then finally you have the squid hoss. Squid hoss, the thing is, even though he doesn't give you a giant chest, he actually gives you an odd tentacle, and you can actually trade these odd tentacles for gems. A lot of people will trade you like a wayward gem, bloodless gem, blue gem. I've gotten a lot of my gems by just trading these odd tentacles because a lot of people struggle with squid hoss, and I guess I can understand why they want to trade their gems for it. So make sure if you are able to kill it that you do trade your odd tentacles for gems. As for a looting guide, basically what I do is whenever I immediately open a chest, immediately scan and look for anything that's gold and white. Immediately pick those up. White is enchanted items, so like those are just an automatic thing you want to pick up. And gold are usually like gems. You can also get like Providence like cloaks and like star dusters that are also good, but you just want to make sure you pick those up quickly and make sure you want to get those first so that like a random freshie doesn't come in and like take your enchanted weapon, for example. Then afterwards, once you immediately do like your first check, look for anything that says Celestial, Enlightened, and then Ascended. Basically, Celestial is like the best, I guess, modifier for your armor pieces, and then it goes on to Enlightened and then Ascended. These usually give you just really good stats for your armor pieces. Then everything else you can kind of leave behind unless you're also just trying to farm for notes, schematics, or like a specific weapon, like you want a 2-star Pale Morning or a 3-star Enforcer Axe. Well, you can only get an Enforcer Axe by finding the Enforcer, but you get what I'm saying. Now, if you really know the depths, you want to ring the Black Bell. These make corrupted enemies spawn a lot more likely, but you must make sure you know how to fight all these enemies, because once you ring this bell, the depths is going to become a lot harder because pretty much mostly corrupted enemies are going to be spawning, and you really don't want to encounter like a corrupted Charco and a corrupted King Thresher at the same time. You're kind of dead. Now, the most dangerous part about the depths is the players. You basically want to log if you see like a giant guild in a server. That's an automatic log. If you see like 5 or 6 of the same guild in one server, they're probably going to kill you on sight. Just log from that server and find another server. Generally, also just don't be trusting. Always assume the worst. I mean, yeah, sure, there are nice people, but a lot of times, dude, people who even act nice will probably try and kill you and, you know, take your shit, man. They want your luck. They want your loot most of the time. So usually I'm not that trusting. I just kind of stay by myself or stay with my group and just stay away from players who probably would want to kill me. Also, if freshies are taking your loot, just kill them. Like, it's honestly really annoying when like a freshie will come up to my chest after like me killing like a corrupted alpha shark and just like instantly take all my shit. I just kill them so they learn to not take other people's loot that they didn't kill, you know what I'm saying? And finally, if you see a group of players and you don't think you can fight them, you should also probably log, even if it's like a group of 3 or 4. If you don't think you can fight that, then it's obviously just best to log. You can hear like movements around the map. So like if you actually like turn off the music and turn up your Roblox volume, you can actually hear like footsteps and weapon swings and mantra casting sounds around the map. Like I hear it all the time. They'll be all the way on the other side of the map and I can hear them. So obviously if you hear like multiple of them or you see multiple people, you should probably log as soon as you can. Now the best ways to get out is obviously go through like the front gate. Sometimes like the front gate of the depths will just be like open and you'll be able to walk right through. However, sometimes you'll probably need to go up a building and jump onto the wall and then fall down into the center of the city where you can actually take up the elevator. These are like basically the 2 ways you can get out the depths, and it's pretty easy to get out the depths. It's actually not that big of a deal. Now when it comes to the trials, basically from powers 1 to 9, you're fine. Powers 10 to 19, you get the little Deep Knight. It's basically like a mud skipper with a sword. It has like bandit leader health and it does a fair amount of damage, but it's not that bad. Powers 20 to 29, you get the Angel. You're probably going to want to use your critical strikes a lot against this. Powers 30 to 49, you get the Charco, and there is a chance that you can get a corrupted Charco as well. And then from powers 50 to 60, you get the Enforcer. Now, one thing you definitely want to make sure is that if you have the Drowned stat, basically just go to a campfire, sit down, and check your summary. You can check how many drowned stat, like how many times you basically drowned, right? And every time you get sent to the depths by dying, it adds to your drowned stat. However, if you go through the whirlpool, obviously it does not add to this, but if you do die and you're sent to depths, it adds to your drowned stat. And basically what the drowned stat does is it adds to your power. So let's just say like I'm power 47, right? But I have 3 drowns, like, or drowned stat is 3, right? Basically it's going to do 47 plus 3 and give me a power of 50 in the game's eyes, right? So usually when I'm supposed to be fighting a Charco, I'm going to get the Enforcer because I was drowned 3 times. So you really want to make sure that you know how many times you're drowned to make sure you know what you're going to get. Finally, there's some other things you can do while you're in the depths to, you know, basically help you out. If you go to the Diver Castle when you're alive and not sent there by dying, you can actually repair your armor. And there's also a vendor that sells items as well. It can sell you like armor schematics and it can sell you weapons. And sometimes the weapons are enchanted, but it's a very, very low chance. And I haven't even really seen anybody do that because nobody really goes to the vendor. It's pretty damn expensive. There's also the gem gacha in the city, but he's kind of useless. Like most of the time the loot he gives is like kind of trash. If you have like spare wind gems, I guess give it to him. But other than that, I really don't go to him. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I have to say for this guide. Make sure you stay safe in the depths. And again, just go with a friend or two if you're a little unsure if you're going to be able to survive and you want to basically play it safe, because again, if you make a mistake in the depths, you're done. Your character is done for unless you have a last wind. And most people don't really want a last win, so you better make sure that you stay safe. I'll be out for this guide. Just let me know if you have any questions and comments down below. I'll be answering them. I'll see you guys later. Peace.